So perhaps you're thinking about being a gamer or doing live streaming and you want to use your PlayStation or your Xbox, or just use an external camera like this little baby up here. This might be perfect for you. We are going to give it a little test. We're not going to give it a thorough test. I've already watched some videos on this little baby and it seems to work extremely well. It also says you don't need no drivers for it. So what we're going to do, we're going to see if it will show up my camera, this one up here. I'm going to plug a HDMI cable into the camera, plug it through this, and then plug this into my computer and see if it works. This also has headphone socket and microphone socket. We're going to be testing that as well to see how good it works. As always, I will stick a link in the video description in case you want to go and check it out. And it's not cheap, but it's not too expensive. It's about £80–90 around that mark, depending on what sales they have on at any particular time. So it's compatible with Windows, Android, Linux. Is it called Linux or is it Linux? Linux. And Mac. And like I said, it should be just plug and play. It says 4K Ultra HD. And hopefully it should be quite fast as well. Like I said, I've watched a few videos on this already because I wasn't sure whether to do it or not. And I thought, oh, you might actually like this one. Well, hopefully you like all my videos. So I'm going to get everything out and see exactly what you get for your money. Right, so we have a thank you card. I'm not going to bother reading that thank you card. We have manual. I might have a read of that, but not at the moment. We have the little box itself. Let's have a quick look around. It's tiny. Let's have a look. Yeah, quite small, quite light. It has some air vents on the side. Has HDMI out, HDMI in on one end, another air vent. USB 3.0 plus headphones and microphone. Yeah, looks alright. Nice little pattern there. Plenty of air vents. And it's sold or manufactured by a company called DIGITNOW. Yeah. What's that? I'm guessing that some sort of light comes up. Yeah. Looking at the pictures, there's a red light and a blue light. So I'm guessing once it's all connected, it should come up and show you exactly whether or not it's working. So it comes with a USB 3.0 and USB type 3.0. We have, luckily enough, on my computer, a USB type 3.0 connection and a HDMI connection. So you get, although I don't think these are going to be very long and I might not be able to use them, I'll probably use my own and it might not be long enough. But if it's your first time and you just want to try it out and see if it actually works, this should be perfect for getting you going. So HDMI to HDMI. I think it said it does up to 240. Did I read somewhere? I think I read somewhere. Where is it? It does 4K at 60 frames pass through. I did read, I'm sure I read something about 240 or something. No, can't see it. Perhaps I made that one up. I'm sure I see it somewhere. Let me have another look. 4K HDR at 60 frames and 0 lag, according to this. Now, I can't actually test the lag. I'll be quite honest with you, I can't test the lag. And I haven't got a PlayStation or an Xbox. So if you're waiting for me to plug it into a PlayStation or an Xbox, at the moment I don't have one. But could be a future video. Let's get this out. Let's get it open. So that is going to be quite short. I reckon maybe 400mm, something like that. And the HDMI might be a meter. I will have a quick measure up and find out for you right now. Right, HDMI cable is just over 1.1 meters long. It's about 1.1.5, something like that. And the USB 3.0 is 600mm, which is an unusual length for cables like this. So let's get them out of the way. Let's have a quick look at the box again. Feels quite light, doesn't feel like there's a lot in there. It's made of plastic, don't expect it to be made of metal or high quality. Don't get, try and keep the cost down so save you money as well. So with that, right, we need to plug some things in, don't we? So I'm going to plug it all in and see what we can do with it, okay? Right, before I show you the setup and show you how easy or how hard it was to set up, the manual. Very easy to understand. Yeah, it's nicely laid out, goes into a nice bit of detail, doesn't make it complicated. It does explain something called OBS. If you've never used OBS and you want to use it, that is Streamlabs OBS, basically the same sort of thing. Let me turn the camera. Yeah, I've actually got it set up at the moment. Yeah, very easy. I didn't need to read the instructions on how to set it up. I just plugged it in and it worked. Now then, before we get stuck into it, if you're setting it up and it doesn't work, it might be because you have too many USB devices plugged in to your USB. So if you do have that issue and you plugged everything in, like I'm going to show you in a second, and it doesn't work, unplug everything and then start again. Plug in the device first, yeah, and then plug in all your other devices. Make sure you've got that up and running first, and then you can see whether or not that is the issue. That's what I would recommend. I did have one slight issue and I unplugged one device and away she went. Because I have microphones plugged in, I have loads of gear plugged into USBs, and I have an extra USB device or card to help with all the devices that I have plugged in. Yeah, makes sense? Yeah, no? Right, let's get on with it then. So yeah, instructions on the manual I was very impressed with. The only thing it didn't tell you, what do the lights do? But I've worked out basically. The red light is basically saying that when you plug this in, oh look, I've got power and it's working and it's got connection. Yeah. So the red light is basically saying you've got USB. So the USB is not actually long enough to plug it into my PC. So I used an extension USB. So I would recommend, if you're going to do that, either buy a lead that is long enough, whether it's for PlayStation, Xbox, or projector or camera lock. I've got it set up on at the moment. It should all work the same, but make sure you have a USB 3.0. Do not get anything like USB 2 or anything like that, or 2.1. It might work, but I very much doubt it would work. And if you want to get the best experience, make sure it's a 3.0. All right. My extension lead is also 3.0. I just want to point that out. So the way it works is USB 3.0 to your PC, which is how I got it set up. I've tested the headphone socket and it works extremely well. In fact, it worked too well. I had to turn the volume down quite a bit. The microphone, I didn't test, but the way the microphone works is once you plug in a microphone, you can't hear it through the headphones. So if you want to hear your own voice, you can't. That just sends straight to your PC or whatever you're sending the signal, whatever you're sending the signal to. That is how that works. So I'm not actually using that because I'm using a wireless microphone anyway to do the recording. HDMIs, now I have two plugged in. I have one for the camera, which I'm using my own cable for because it's longer, and I'll want to move it about and chuck it about, which I'm going to show you in a minute, and I'll explain why I'm using the camera as well. So that is what I'm using, and also I have another HDMI. Again, this is my own HDMI because it's more flexible. It's easier for me to use, and that is plugged into my monitor, as you can see on there. Can you see that? Hopefully you can see that, yeah? So that is plugged into that. So I wanted to show you it running on my monitor for the PC, and also my monitor for the camera, which is normally sitting on my rig. This is my computer, or my computer rig. This is my camera rig, this little baby here, and yeah, I've had this for about a year, maybe 2 years now, and it works extremely well. It's got loads of different attachments and does everything I want it to do. So you're thinking, how's that going to help me with an Xbox? Yeah, I know what you're thinking, or PlayStation. Yeah, I want to plug in an Xbox PlayStation. Well, it's basically the same. And you want to know about lag? Well, I'm going to show you a bit of lag, or not. Look, that is not lagging. I'm chucking that about. I don't want to chuck it about too much because I don't want to break the monitor and sitting on top. But there is no lag there. That is extremely good. There might be a fraction of a lag, but I've got no device to test how good or how bad the lag is. But if I was gaming, that's doing everything I wanted to do. So put me in for it. There. Do it again. Extremely fast, extremely responsive. Very impressed so far. Gets a bit warm, but it only gets warm. Doesn't get hot. Yeah, considering the amount of money this costs, it's about, I think it's about £80. Don't forget, I will stick a link in the video description in case you want to go and check it out. Yeah, considering how much it cost, and it's plug and play, very impressed. It beat my expectations. I was expecting to have loads of problems, you know, thinking, you know, £80, is it going to be any good? You know, is it going to overheat? I've had no heat issues with it. I've been playing about with it for about an hour or so, or maybe 2 hours actually, because I wanted to make sure everything is running all right. And yeah, it's amazing. Plug and play. You plug it all in. If it doesn't work, it's because you've probably got too many devices plugged in. Like I said, I'm using Streamlabs OBS, and that works extremely well. But you should be able to use, if you've got Windows 10, you should be able to use, I think it's called Camera. If you type in the bottom type search thing, the word camera, you should be able to find, if you're using a camera like I'm using, you should be able to find your camera on there as well, rather than using OBS. But if you want to do gaming, I can't see any issues with this whatsoever. The lag, I can't see any. I really can't. That is really good. I know people are going to say, you know, well, it's not a true test because you didn't plug in the games console. I've watched some videos already on YouTube, and the games control or games like Xbox or PlayStation, they seem to work just fine. I can't see any issues. So I didn't really want to go down that route because I haven't got an Xbox or PlayStation. I didn't want to have to go and borrow one just to prove the point that, you know, it does exactly the same as what it does on my camera. It works extremely well. Very impressed with it. Easy to use, easy to set up. Definitely gets my thumbs up. Let me know in the comments whether it gets your thumbs up by giving me the thumbs up. If not, give me the thumbs down. Please subscribe. It doesn't cost you any money whatsoever. And don't forget, I will stick a link in the video description for this product in case you want to go and check it out. Thank you very much for watching.